Assalamu alaikum, guys. I think my technical problem is working now. Can you guys hear me? Or is my internet got a bit funny?
I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Assalamu alaikum, bro. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Walaikum Salam.
How are you doing, bro? How's things?
Yeah, it's good. I've been quite busy and, I had a few shortfalls, but it's actually going well in terms of like the weight loss. I'm like, what now, 70, I just checked today, 77.5 or 6.
Nice.
So it's like gone from, the thing is, I was actually more than 81 kilograms because I didn't have a weight scale. So I was just,
Okay, see,
mm,
makes sense, bro.
it was an estimate. And then I realized I looked through my phone, and then I had like way before I joined this program, I was 82 roughly, and now I'm like 77. So just another 10 kilograms to lose, and I'm happy.
Inshallah,
66. Yeah.
inshallah, that'd be absolutely awesome, bro. Absolutely awesome. I mean, look, bro, the rate of fat loss I think you're going at right now, 'cause I think it's been 10 weeks, I believe. And obviously we've gone from like 82, whatever it was at the start, to like
Yeah.
77. So, you're losing about half a kilo a week, bro, which is amazing, bro. That's really,
Yeah,
really good.
I wouldn't count those. I wouldn't count the 10 weeks properly because I know I started at 22nd, but because of my blood test and then getting diet, I feel like I started near to the end of June. But I
Yeah,
think it's like, for me, it's been 1 month and I've already lost this much.
yeah,
I wouldn't even
absolutely.
count it from there. To be honest with you.
Bro. I agree as well because we had some issues with
Yeah, yeah.
that blood test at the start, and we had to get the special.
There's like 3, 4 blood tests, 3 blood tests, and then a couple of weeks later, I
Absolutely,
started.
absolutely. Sometimes it happens, bro. Sometimes it
Yeah,
happens. There
no.
are, you're not the only one, bro, where we've had to, get the specialist to come out to you. So this is not an issue at all, bro. But main thing is you're on the right track and everything's going well. I had a little look at, your check-in as well, and it looks like the tummy's really, really coming down, bro, as well. Which is really good to see
I
as
feel
well.
like it is.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, and I think obviously you've been how do you say? I think the main thing for next week, I think you mentioned I did have a look before. I think it was something to do with snacking. Am I correct? That was you, right? I didn't have a look
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it. So talk to me a little bit about that, bro. What's kind of going on? Like, what kind of things going to help you with today, and how we can also get the needle moving a bit on that, bro. You let me know.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, it's working. I mean, like, it's only probably been truly 1.5 months for me, and it's actually working. I think that the thing is, the way I'm thinking to curb my like snacking and everything is probably to fast, like some days.
Yeah,
Because when I'm fasting, I'm actually very focused. I don't really snack much. I don't really think about food much, other than water. I'm only thinking about water,
yeah,
and then I get on with work and get on with moving. Like I can walk distances when I'm fasting. Obviously, the exercise only comes when I break the fast. So I'm thinking of doing that, and that will reduce a portion of fat as well. I think, but while still getting my protein in, I'm thinking of fasting for the most some days or for this month or and carry it forward because
yeah. Absolutely.
my
I mean,
Mondays and Thursdays it's Sunnah fast.
yeah, absolutely, bro. Like Mondays, Thursdays, any day you can pass on those days, bro. Obviously, it's recommended to do so. So, obviously, there's no issue on that part, bro. The only thing that we'd have to look at and create for you, is obviously the strategy behind it. So this
Mm.
is what I always tend to. This is like my routine in Ramadan, but this is what I do every single Ramadan, and it's allowed me to create success when I do the summer fast as well. Is obviously when we wake up for support,
Mm.
thing you want to have, bro, is just something that's is quite high in protein, so it's going to keep you full, and something with like slow digesting carbs. Okay, so for example, this could be something like there's two options I always go for. I keep it nice and simple. Either I have Greek yogurt fat-free with some oats, some honey, some protein powder in there. I have personally. You don't need that though. It's just to get the extra protein and stuff the face later. Because when I fast, I really don't like to eat iftar. Like I really don't get hungry. I'm full after
No.
dates quite a lot, you know. So what I tend to do is have that with like some berries or dates in the morning. Or alternatively, I usually have like 4 or 5 eggs with like a piece of toast or two, just so then you're getting the slow digestion carbs through the toast. If you
Right.
can, sourdough bread is great. You can get Jason's sourdough in the UK, which is brilliant. That's the one we always used to have, which is absolutely amazing, bro. It's really, really good. And then that's what I'll have for support. And then if not, this is what I do. I tend to have 3 dates, like 500 ml of water. I'll go pray Maghrib, and as soon as I finish Maghrib, like I usually don't eat. To be fair, like I'm not really hungry, so I'll usually eat maybe like 20, 30 minutes later after I've read the Quran or done something else.
Yeah.
The meal will be like relatively small, bro. Usually I have something like chicken wraps, or like chicken and rice, or beef and potatoes, or something that's relatively. It's not too heavy, because you haven't eaten all day, so you don't have so much
No. Yeah. Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, stuff mixed up, bro. So that's what I tend to do. Oh, I forgot to mention, when you have the water in the morning for support, sorry, if you can get access to electrolytes, very, very good for you, bro. Easier to keep you hydrated. Just make sure they're decent ones. If you want, I can send you over a link to some electrolytes that I use. I think you can get them in like the supermarket or Boots or something.
Yeah. They look like I did have some. I need to top up now. Like yeah, I realized that makes the thirst much more manageable. You still feel thirsty, but it's much more
Absolutely,
manageable.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's quite difficult. I've fasted a couple of times already.
Yes.
But yeah, it's actually a good way. Like I would eat stuff like a chicken, chicken breast or mincemeat with rice. But I would also have like dal with it, like for extra protein, probably some eggs and like a salad. That's like my meal that I open up with, and then for suhoor I would have like oats. But I do have sometimes I have yogurt as a dessert with honey because I have a simple dessert. But if I don't, then I'll use that in the oats. Or if I want a hot oats, is skim milk okay? Because I've been heating it up my oats with berries with
Yeah.
some. Yeah, that's what I've been doing for my suhoor, like berries and dates, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely, bro. 100%. That's spot on, bro. Like, the thing is with milk, bro. Like, milk is great for us. Like I tend to have like semi-skimmed milk, or like, to be honest, if you're all milk is good, bro. To be honest, I mean, you know, in an ideal world, we'd all be able to tolerate like raw milk, because raw milk
Yeah.
is good for us. But some of us can't, just because the years that we've been eating and things, like we're not used to that amount of like it is bacteria in there, but it's good bacteria, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. It's actually very, very good for us, but some of us can't handle it like digestion wise. So obviously with like semi-skimmed milk or skimmed milk, I don't really like the taste of fully skimmed, just because it tastes a bit too much like water.
I don't like the red top. No.
Yeah, red top is not for me. But my mum has red top, but I always ask her why she has it. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, like green top is great. I think that's like middle ground. Even blue top is good for us. It's just got extra calories in it, but
Yeah.
it's still good for you. You know.
I don't know. Like I'm not sure if I'm lactose intolerant because last time I had blue top and gold top, like it just it had issues. But I don't know whether that was because I was eating a fried food or something like that. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, look, if you've maybe you are, maybe you aren't, but can you manage like semi-skimmed? Okay, it's fine.
Yeah. I was like, anything okay.
Okay, but maybe there's a slight intolerance. I don't think you're like
No.
completely intolerant to it. To be honest, like if you can manage semi-skimmed, bro, you'll be absolutely fine. Like I know people that I've worked with even now or in the past where they can't manage any milk. at all, bro. They have to have like coconut milk or almond milk or something, and I'm not the biggest fan of them, to be honest. Um, Oat milk is probably like the worst one you can have. That's the only one that some people can only have oat milk, you know, because it's just made up of starch, really. You know, it's not very good for us. But if you can have like semi-skim milk, it's absolutely fine. It's really, really, really good, to be honest. It's great, though. So, ultimately, bro, you're doing everything in the right way. Everything is going well. I just think, obviously had, some pressure of work and things as well. But, it seems like
Yeah, 'cause it's audit time, so it's like stupid amount of pressure. Like it's more beyond my normal hours,
yeah,
and then I have to like study extra for it because it's like um more outside of my remit of work. I just and I don't like it at all. It's making me feel like I wanna quit my job. Like that's how bad it is. So
right, okay,
uh, that's why it's a bit like I'm trying to juggle this, and I have to get healthy because I feel like I'll tip over or implode if I don't get my weight down. So
yeah,
this has come at a very good time for me because if I can't, if I don't manage what I eat and how I sleep and do the exercise, I'll be so stressed. I'll be so stressed. But now it's manageable because of this. I have to say, my work is manageable, even though it's over the hours. It's and unsociable right now.
yeah.
But yeah, this is actually this helped a bit.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Honestly, bro, you're really, really doing well. If you look at the trends, bro, over the last like month, 6 weeks or so, you're doing everything you need to, bro. You've lost like 6 odd kg, 7 kg, something like this. So it's really, really, really good to see, bro. And obviously, the more we do it, the more we're going to kind of see the threshold for you increase for stress at work, family pressure. Things happen all the time in life, bro. And the main thing is to obviously make sure that we keep crushing it, we keep doing it, because that's ultimately the way that we're going to improve. In every kind of realm of human possibility, bro. So
Yeah.
you're doing absolutely everything you can. You're managing everything brilliantly. I'm very happy with everything. Obviously, I've been keeping tabs on you, making sure everything's going well. So I'm very, very happy with it, bro. So what would you kind of say, for you have been, maybe over the last 7, 8 weeks, the biggest kind of wins for you personally, bro? Like what's been the main things you've noticed, would you say, that from previously compared to now, of course?
Oh, the biggest win, most importantly, would be like the shift in mindset for me to like um feel less stressed about some things that are not under my control.
Nice.
Um, but that's one win. That's a major win because that helps me with everything else,
Yeah.
and helps everything else fall into place. And then the other thing is curbing my habits. So the thing was, I was a big shisha smoker.
Yeah.
So that's like my outlet to deal with stress. I don't need it anymore. I don't think about it anymore. Yeah,
It's amazing, bro.
and I don't have that anymore. Then it's like certain snacks that I used to have a lot. So I used to have fried foods, and I used to have um loads of like a lot of chocolate. Like at first I thought I don't eat much. So why am I gaining? Why am I have this much weight? But I realized that yeah, I'm not exercising enough. I'm not moving enough. But also what I'm eating is full of carbs or full of sugary, it's sugars and fats. And
Got
although I do have snacks, I've limited it, and I've changed it to like lentil crisps, like that are baked. Snacks that a baby would have is
Yeah.
somewhat healthier. It's not the healthiest, but it's healthier than if I just have a craving. And then it'll be dark chocolate instead of chocolate. So that's a complete change. Like, and I don't even miss it. Like, I don't miss chocolates anymore. I now realize when I have a chocolate, it's just I taste some difference. Like, it's not good quality milk chocolate or dark chocolate. It's just rubbish, and you can taste the sweeteners and the palm oil, and it's just
Yeah.
There's something off about the chocolate now. I can't have it no more. I'll have a protein bar instead, like natural protein bars with oats and peanuts and stuff like that. So my mind has shifted from that, and then the snacks are lentil crisp and not actual crisp. So
Brilliant.
that's changed a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do have some crisps and here and there, but it depends because
Oh, yeah, yeah.
but it's completely changed. Like my whole cupboard is changed, full of snacks. Like
That's
there's
great.
hardly any, but there's healthy ones.
Mashallah, that's absolutely brilliant to hear, bro. And obviously, the change in such a small amount of time, bro, is great. Because ultimately now we're kind of just having to manipulate certain things a little bit to, make sure that we do everything that we can to obviously continue this. And ultimately, bro, wife, kids, they're gonna copy what you do eventually, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're going to be healthier as well, which is absolutely brilliant to see, bro. And Mubarak, mashallah, which is absolutely amazing to see, bro. So, but ultimately, today what I wanted to go through is a little bit different from what we normally do on these calls, but it's basically the same. But I have something kind of prepared for you guys where I wanted to kind of go through this with you a little bit. So, if you don't mind. So I wanted to talk a little bit, about the Prophet, the approach that obviously he used in terms of how he treated his health and his amana and things like this, and how everything that we do is deeply rooted within the wisdom of the Sunnah as well. Literally, to fail as you were saying, bro, everything you're doing is rooted within kind of what the Prophet ﷺ used to do, obviously in a modern way, right?
Yeah.
So obviously I'll kind of talk you guys through this. Obviously it's a small call today, which is great. We get some more one-on-one time. I know there's a few people that keep joining and then leaving. I don't know if they're having a problem, but obviously we can continue, guys. So in terms of, the science of prophetic physique, what this basically means is it's split into three kind of prototypes, right? It's through nutrition, it's through training, and it's through, of course, spiritual practice as well. So in terms of nutrition, there's a very, very good book, and it's called The Masculinity of Muhammad. And it's basically all about the habits that the Prophet ﷺ used to have in terms of his eating, his exercising, the way he treated people, how he lived his life day to day. Mashallah, it's a very, very good book. You can get it on Amazon. I think it's something like £15 or something. It's a great read. But we know in terms of his nutrition, his diet was very, he ate a lot of whole foods, right? And nutrient dense foods, which we already know that are mentioned in hadith and practice and things like this. Things like, of course, dates, meats, eggs, watermelon, pomegranate, all these different things are already mentioned. So these are all the kind of foods we should be aiming to eat. But by understanding the reasons why he did this, it allows us to develop a different feeling towards looking after ourselves, which is again another form of ibadah that we can do for ourselves. In terms of training, obviously we know that the Prophet ﷺ, he was known for his physicality, his athleticism. He had broad shoulders, good posture, big legs, wide back. Mashallah, very, very tall guy as well. And ultimately, he wasn't somebody that went to the gym every day. He didn't just go down to a pure gym or anything like this. He was doing horseback riding, archery, climbing, wrestling, things like this. So if we can incorporate some similar movement patterns to this, we can strive to achieve a physical prowess like the Prophet as best as we can, of course, that reflects upon him. And then in terms of a spiritual practice, his physical well-being was very deeply intertwined with spiritual practice, right? So obviously praying is number one, fasting, like Phil, you mentioned before, bro. And obviously just maintaining our own kind of, spirituality as well. So something that I do quite a lot is when I'm in the gym or I'm training or whatever I'm doing, after, before I do an exercise, I always say Bismillah. After I finish, I say Alhamdulillah. And then in between sets, I usually just, do istighfar, continuously until rest time is over. And that way I kind of noticed I'm doing kind of 1,000 astaghfirullah, 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 all the way through the session. And we know, obviously, it's, asking Allah for forgiveness is, it's a very, very easy way for us to gain clarity in terms of opening doors for us, which I've noticed a big, big, big thing. And inshallah, it can help you guys too. Now, in terms of the nutrition side of things, again, we kind of already went through it, but again, it's eating things in moderation. It's, that rule of thirds we always go through, where it's 1/3 food, 1/3 air, 1/3 water, whole nutrient dense food, trying to stay away from these processed foods, because all they're going to do is cause bloating, digestive issues, things like this. Of course, from time to time you can have, of course, I'm not stupid. I know you guys have families and things like this. So there are going to be times where we do indulge in these things, and so do I, because sometimes that's part of family life. But as long as we make sure it's balanced, then that's the main thing. And then there are some other superfoods as well written here that I didn't mention before: honey, olive oil, black seeds. Absolutely brilliant. We know black seeds, the only thing they can't cure you from is death, right? And I probably need to get back into this habit. But what I used to do is have 7 black seeds with a teaspoon of honey first thing in the morning. Just from reading this now, I'm going to go out and buy some more so I can start doing this again. But again, these are just some things for you, like some small little tips just to kind of optimize things a little bit more. Okay. Then again, in terms of muscle building in the Sunnah as well, very, very various strength building exercises. The exercises that you guys do are all for building strength and making sure we get stronger. I'm sure, like with Hafiz, where we're going to be changing his program soon. Similarly as well with a lot of guys, when we kind of transition into a different phase, we want to make sure that we are doing the right things, but also to the point where if things need to change, that we change them so that we can get stronger as well. But not just focusing on, having a six-pack or bigger biceps. It's about being functionally strong as well. Can you carry your children up the stairs, or, these things that, might be important one day, and all these different things as well. But ultimately, recovery is very important as well. And it's funny I say this today because I only slept about 3 hours today. I have had a nap in between and just before this call, because sleep just wasn't very good for me yesterday. But it just goes to show, sometimes we just need to have these Sunnah naps. If we have the luxury to have them and we're not stuck in an office, they can be very, very useful for us too, because rest is not laziness. Sometimes rest is the foundation that everything we're doing is built on, okay, which is very, very important for us, okay? So let me just move this out of the way because it's not letting me go.
I would like to add one thing that's worked for me in terms of functional strength. So you might not even look strong, or but you'll be able to do stuff, is rock climbing.
Yes.
Rock climbing is so good. Yeah.
Yes, bro. And you can, bro. The day after you can't move.
Yeah. I've got a few areas where I could rock climb because they set it up for kids, but it's high enough for you to do it, and you keep on doing it again and again.
Yeah.
It actually works. It just, and you won't look the part, but you'll feel it. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, bro. You will feel it. Absolutely. You know what, bro? I think you've motivated me to go and try and do it. I haven't done it, bro, in probably a year and a half. So I might go and try and start doing it again, because I really, really enjoyed it, to be honest. It's good fun as well.
Yeah.
If the kids, maybe, some family as well, it can be you can kind of make it a bit competitive as well, especially
it is. It gets to your arms so bad, it really, I don't know, stretches it out of your socket. I don't know. It's sometimes that bad, but it's you feel good afterwards. Like when you recover, you're like, wow.
Absolutely. It's a proper workout, bro. It's a real workout. It's a proper workout, bro, which is great. And, literally what you just said kind of ties into this as well. It's making sure that we are functionally strong, because we don't just want to be, building muscle for building muscle's sake, because what you don't use, then you'll lose it, right? So
Yeah.
your shoulder mobility, your leg mobility, knee mobility, your neck, all these different things, we have to use it. Otherwise, excuse me, it's just going to get stiff, right? And we don't want anything to be stiff, right? We want everything to be mobile, functional, so we can kind of get through the phase of life in terms of which we're at. And obviously these days in modern day life, it's very tough because most of the time we work from a desk, I'm sat at a desk now, but that's just kind of how life works, but we need to kind of subside that as well. Okay. Now in terms of, of course, making, lower body as well, it's basically the same thing that's on here, but we need to make sure everything we're doing is functional, right? Things like squats, deadlifts, lunges, things like this are absolutely brilliant because they're going to allow us to do the other things that we need to do in life. For example, a deadlift is picking things up from the floor. And I know that sounds very basic, and I know none of us here is 70, 80 years old yet. But if we do these exercises now, when we get to the latter stages of life, inshallah, doing these simple things like walking up the stairs or picking things up off the floor or lifting things or reaching for things from the cupboard, it's easy. I think the oldest brother that we have here, I think he's 70 years old, mashallah, and he's very, very, very flexible and strong for his age. So, ultimately, these are all the things that we need to be doing, okay? Make sure we're kind of doing this for the right reasons. Now, obviously, in terms of spiritual practices for health too, again, I told you before, I participate in, dhikr and things like this. Fasting is great. We could probably all fast more, if we're being honest with ourselves. I know I definitely could. I've kind of lost that a little bit. I used to do it every Monday and Thursday. Maybe inshallah, this is my wake-up call to start doing again. We know even like mindfulness and reflection is very important. Like, for example, I don't know if any of you guys do this, but I journal every single morning after I pray. And I kind of am prompted with a certain question every day. This is the book I use, I'll show you. It's called the Daily Stoic Journal. Okay, so I use this, but I'm sure you can just go on ChatGPT and say, prompt me a question with something that I can journal to or something like this, and it'll come up. But this journal is great because it asks you so many different things, and it can kind of just allow you to write as much as you want. So, for example, I've just turned onto a random page, and the question on that day, which is August 20th, is how well is my soul dressed? Another one is, what if I stopped worrying about the future and enjoyed the present? And it just allows you and prompts your mind to think and reflect on everything you're doing to better yourself ultimately. And that's one of the biggest kind of stress management techniques I use. I do the same thing every single day. I wake up, I pray to God. If I'm able to, I try my absolute best to be up for it. Then I pray Fajr, then I read the Quran, then I journal, and then I read some form of self-improvement book. That is my same thing every single day. I do it, and it really does help my stress management. Because obviously, I'm sure you guys can imagine with your own jobs too, like being very career driven and you're wanting to provide for family. The same goes with a business. You want to help people as much as you can, but ultimately that comes with a lot of stress and responsibility, right? So I do this for myself to make sure I'm taking care of my own stresses, right? Obviously as well, following on from that, community support is very, important. You guys being part of the group, seeing everything's in there, joining the calls, it's all just to create a community, right? And a like-minded based group of people. And that's why it's so important. I know some people can't join all the time because they're busy with work, business, etc. But the main thing is you're joining, you're taking part, and you're not just a bystander. And that's why you guys are going to be so successful in the long run, because you take it seriously, okay? And which is absolutely brilliant to see. Now, obviously, in terms of achieving the Prophet ﷺ's physique, inshallah, we can do our best. He was the greatest human ever. So, we can't keep how do you say, expectations too high, but we can certainly try our best. So what this would look like in terms of three pillars, right? For nutrition, all we do is focus on whole nutrient dense food, right? In terms of everything that I've just mentioned before, okay? Training, engaging in a variety of functional and strength building exercises, which is great, which we've spoken about, making sure we're functional. And then the spiritual integration, with which we've kind of just gone through as well. And all these things are going to be very, very, very important for us too. Okay. Now, that is pretty much the presentation in terms of everything I wanted to go through with you today. Does anybody have anything they would like to add? Maybe anything they've already maybe kind of used from this already, or anything they'd like to add, or anything at all. No pressure if there's nothing, but I'll give you guys 30 seconds because I know it's a small group call today, so it's not a problem at all. So you guys let me know. I'll give you 30 seconds, okay? No, I'll give another 30 seconds.
Yeah, so something that I do in the morning, usually once I wake up, I either incorporate some stretches or like just some sort of movement as soon as I wake up, because that's when I normally tend to feel a bit more stiff. So I usually jump out of bed, just do some stretches before I do wuzu and read the Fajr Namaz. But I feel like that's been helping me, because one of the main reasons I joined this program was for my back health as well.
Absolutely.
And I feel like throughout doing this habit in the morning, as well as doing the gym workouts, I feel like it's made a massive improvement to my back. It's like when I'm doing sujood, I don't feel it as much anymore. So that's something that I just incorporate in my mornings. And like, I tend to like mostly, in the past, I used to be like consuming like just content, like scrolling on social media and stuff like that. However, I felt like I was wasting time doing
Yeah.
that. I just needed a little bit more doing something like creative or whatever. So I just like whatever I fancy, like whether it's reading a book, just getting off a screen, and it's really helped. So like this morning, I just put around the garden, just helping my mum do that,
Nice
and
one.
that just made the difference. Like getting outside as well. So
Okay.
I really seen some improvements in that sense as well.
Awesome, bro. That's absolutely great to hear, mashallah, bro. That's absolutely awesome. And I know, what would you kind of say? I know you, like, obviously when we first started, there was quite a lot of back problems and things, but you saying, there's not as many problems now, like when you're in sujood and things, like when you're praying, obviously that's improved, which is absolutely amazing to hear. What would you kind of say are the main differences that, you can kind of see from before till now, would you say? Like objectively for you, bro?
Yeah, it's just like I said in the morning. In the past, I used to be like all stiff and used to take me ages to like kind of limber up and get started with my day. However, like these past few months, I just feel like it's shortened really much. So it's like just a quick stretch here and there, and I'm able to read Mars without too much pain in my back. So I feel like that's the main like area that I feel like I've seen some improvement.
Amazing, bro. Mashallah. Obviously, that's the biggest win of them all, bro. If you're finding it easier to pray and there's not as much pain anymore, obviously that's the main thing. Because I
Yeah,
remember when we first kind of started, there was some kind of discrepancies in the kind of global back area as well, and obviously we can see from now, it's definitely a lot better on Mubarak. It's really
yeah,
really good to see, bro. Really really good to see. I know obviously you've been dealing with a lot as well, but I think the biggest thing for you, bro, is you haven't let it disrupt you, and you've kept standards, and you've obviously, we found the system that obviously works for you, and it's been crushing, bro. It's been doing really well. You've been taking, everything on board, every kind of thing I tell you to do or ask you, you do it. And it's great to see, bro. So hopefully, inshallah, the progress continues to happen for a long time, bro, because I think now we've found that system. You've got your own high standards for yourself. Now is maybe just thinking about putting the foot on the gas a little bit, in terms of pushing a little bit more. But look, bro, there's always times for these things because you're only young, you're not old, so there's plenty of time for these things, bro. But honestly, bro, you absolutely crushed it so far.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah, like the rest of the world, said, it's the mindset as well. So I feel like that's just changed me and my like outlook on life as well. Like in the past where I'd react a little bit differently, now I'm just reacting in a way that I feel like whatever's in my control and whatever I can change, that's what I'm gonna do. But if it's out of my control, then why stress too much about it? So I feel like the mindset as well, in terms of improving myself, not just mental, but the physical as well. I feel like, yeah, I'm really progressing in that sense as well.
amazing, bro. Mashallah, it's great to hear, bro. Mindset is everything in life, bro.
Yep.
Say this to everybody. Mindset is this whole journey that you guys are on. It's, in my opinion, I think it's 80% mindset. The reason I say that is because we can rely on willpower and motivation, but these feelings, they're only they're very fleeting, right?
Yeah.
When it's fleeting, I just mean like it's up and down. It's never a constant linear. So if we can shift our identity to become the person we want to become for our parents, for our kids, for our partners, spouses, that's obviously the main thing for us, and that's ultimately where success is going to be driven from. And the results you've seen, for example, Hafiz, with the back pain, the mobility, the way you react to situations, all of it is literally from 80% in your mind, which is led to an identity shift. Because I know, maybe at the start, I think there was a time when, there was some problems in work. I remember this maybe a few weeks, maybe a few months. There was problems in work. You didn't like it. You stood up for yourself and you got the result that you wanted,
Absolutely,
So there's all these different things as well. So when I always say to people, it's not just fitness. Fitness has its own byproduct of, catalyzing other things in terms of how we look after ourselves, our own standards, and how we live life as well. So honestly, I take my hat off to you. You've done really, really, really well so far. And I think it's just it's a credit to you, bro, for actually just putting in the work and sticking to it,
thank you.
which is great working, but not a problem at all. But look, guys, this has been an absolutely brilliant call. I've really, really enjoyed it. I'm going to put this in the group so you can watch it over if you want to get the value again, or if you want to go through it. But this has been amazing. I always look forward when it's a small call, because I can kind of spend some more time one-on-one with you. But is there anything else before we part ways? I've done all your check-ins anyway, pretty much. So I have a few more to go. I'm pretty sure I've done both of yours. Maybe, I can't remember. I did them at like 4:00 this morning. So if there's anything else you guys want to go through or ask any questions, feel free to now. If not, give your salams, and I'll see you next week, inshallah. But let me know. I'm still going to be here. I'm not going to disappear just yet, in case you have anything you want to ask. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's just it from me. But yeah, thank you once again, and I'll see you next week, inshallah.
Inshallah, bro. Inshallah.
Yeah, that's it for me. Yeah.
Awesome, bro.
Good. Thank you. Jazakallah.
Wa alaikum assalam. See you soon.
Salam.
Take care. Bro. See you
Bye.
soon. Take care. Assalam.